IT also is a catalyst of fundamental changes, not only in the structure, operations, but in the management of organizations. Due to the many capabilities that we discussed yesterday of IT, organizations are able to support their business objectives. What are the business objectives of an organization? It is to improve productivity, reduce cost, improve decision making, enhance customer relationship, and they wish to develop new strategic applications. In all of these, IT plays a very important role. You should know that productivity, organizations face environmental, organizational, and technological pressures in this highly competitive business environment, in which customers are the focal point. Furthermore, you should know that the environmental, organizational, and technological factors can change quickly, sometimes in a very unpredictable manner. Therefore, companies or organizations or business firms need to react frequently and quickly to both problems and opportunities resulting from the new business environment. Because the pace of change, if you mark, and the degree of uncertainty in tomorrow's competitive environment are expected to accelerate, organizations are going to operate under increasing pressure to produce more using fewer resources. All of you must have seen many modern organizations are going through major restructuring, eliminating jobs, and they are trying to, or they are attempting to get lean and mean and to be competitive in the marketplace. Dramatic changes are happening in this business environment. In this new world of business, dramatic changes are happening. And you'd know that organizations or business firms face a set of business pressures or drivers. They maintain that they face that using one of the most important tools available to them. And in order to succeed or even to survive in this dynamic world, companies must take not only traditional actions such as lowering costs, but also they need to indulge in innovative activities like empowering employees, many of these activities can be referred to as the critical response activities, and they can be performed in some or all of the processes of the organization, from the daily routine of preparing payroll to order entry to strategic activities like the acquisition of a company. A response can be a reaction to a pressure already in existence, or it can be an initiative that will defend an organization against future pressures. So it can also be an activity that exploits an opportunity created by changing conditions. Most response activities can be greatly be facilitated by this all-important tool called as information technology. In some cases, IT is the only solution to these business pressures. So, there is a relationship between business pressures, organizational responses, and IT in this new world of business. The business drivers create pressures on organizations. Organizations respond with activities supported by information technology. And the core of today's information technology, as you will see throughout the discussion in this course, is network computing. There are many computing environments that come up and are implemented in organizations so that managers and organizations can use them and benefit out of them. Now, what are the pressures on organizations which are facilitated by IT? Many business pressures that you find can be market pressures, can be technological pressures, and societal pressures. And organizations respond to these pressures by making good use of the all-important tool available to them, which is called as information technology. Information technology we defined yesterday. Today again, we'll try to see what is information technology and how do we deal with it, what are its impacts. Like from the earlier discussion, we can say that information technology in its narrow definition, it refers to the technological side of an information system. What it includes hardware, the things that you can touch, feel, and see. It includes software, a set of instructions that drive the hardware, that drive the device. It includes networks through which data is transferred, or information flows, or digital documents flow. And there are a host of other devices, which is called as information technology. Information technology can be viewed as a subsystem of information systems. Sometimes the term IT has been used interchangeably with information systems. It may even be used in a broader way to describe a collection of several information systems, users, and management of an entire organization. Information technology has today become a strategic necessity in today's digital firms and the digital society. Unless we as managers believe in IT and act on it, there is every chance that we will miss out on opportunities that will come in our life. IT has become a vital component of successful businesses and organizations. And managers are expected to identify opportunities to implement information systems and information technology to improve the business processes. Managers are also required to lead IS projects in IT in the business firms. So, information technology has become a major facilitator of business activities. It is also a catalyst of fundamental changes in the structure, operations, and management of modern organizations too. You'll see that organizations today, a modern organization can use information technology to have business alliances, to have joint ventures or virtual, it can be a virtual corporation. An organization today uses information technology for continuous improvement. Like for improved productivity, they use IT. For improved decision making, they make good use of information technology. For managing innovation, organizations use IT. Organizations use IT for change management. Organizations use IT for customer service innovations and creativity. Organizations use IT for just-in-time. Organizations use IT for total quality management. An organization, if it has to leave the old way of doing things and has to embrace the new way of doing things, that means I'm talking about if organizations wish to re-engineer their business processes, they make good use of IT. When an organization re-engineers its business processes, it can have dramatic improvements. The cycle time reduces, time to market reduces, empowerment happens, collaborative work happens, mass customization happens, team-based organizations are formed, and finally, you see that organizations are transformed entities. The many capabilities that organizations utilize today can be listed out. Managers and business firms today use IT capabilities for its transactional capability. What does that mean? IT can transform unstructured processes into routinized transactions. A process, if it is unstructured, when IT is used, it can transform that unstructured process into a routinized transaction, and a program can be created so that that routine and repetitive task can be carried out very nicely and very fast and in a very accurate manner. The second capability, which is widely used by business firms, digital firms, is that capability of IT, which is called as the geographical capability of IT. Now, what does that mean? It means that when the new firms start using information technology, they can transform information with regularity and across large distances, making processes independent of geography. Like if I have to take out my money from a bank, why should I walk down to the bank after it opens up physically? I can take out my money anytime, any place, anywhere. So IT can transform information with regularity and across large distances, making processes independent of geography. The third capability of IT, which is widely used today, all of you will see that IT is not the tool to process data or to carry out analysis. Rather, IT can be used to glean non-obvious patterns and trends from the unstructured data that is there in computers. It can glean out insights to be utilized by managers for more precision in their decision making. So IT can bring analytical methods to bear upon business processes. Many mathematical routines, many analytical routines can be brought on to bear on processes to improve the processes. Organizations also use another very important capability of IT, the informational capability of IT. IT, when used in organizations, can bring about vast amounts of detailed information into a processes, improving the process. The next capability, which is utilized by digital firms today by managers, is the sequential capability of IT. What does that mean? That means IT can enable changes in the sequence of tasks in a process, often allowing multiple tasks to be worked on simultaneously. You can use IT to expedite the tasks in a process, and hence you can arrive at results very fast. You can become multitasking and you can work simultaneously. The next capability of IT that is used by digital firms is the knowledge management capability of IT. All of you should know that information technology allows the tracking of task status, inputs, and outputs. Like if you have noticed, like if you have sent something in a courier, you can track the status of the goods that you have sent, and you can become aware of where your good is, has it reached or not. So IT provides you the capability to track your goods. The last but the most important capability of IT, which is widely used, is the disintermediation capability of IT. What does that mean? Information technology can connect two parties, two or more parties within a process who would otherwise communicate through an intermediary. So you can generate goods or services that are having low cost, high quality, and more satisfaction for the customer. How managers use these IT capabilities? I've already discussed that managers or the digital firms basically use IT for improving productivity, reducing cost, enhancing their decision-making process, and enhancing not just the customer relationship, the supply chain can be improved, and hence the organization can benefit more. The organization can use the IT capabilities for developing new strategic applications also. IT use in organization, if you notice, there has been a paradigm shift in the way organizations or the business have shifted. The business shift has been from being a seller market to a buyer market. Customers have become the focal point of any business. The business environment is no more as stable as it used to be, and it has become much more competitive. It has become mandatory on the part of the organizations to make full use of IT to survive. IT has become one of the standard components of an organization today. This is the most important reason why managers need to learn about IT and need to learn about information systems. Information technology, again, you should know that it is any computer-based tool that people use to work with information and to support the information and information processing needs of an organization. And how is it different from an information system? Information system is something more than information technology. It collects, processes, stores, and analyzes and disseminates information for a specific purpose. And these two core functions of an organization provide the all-important quality information for the management processes, for the operational processes, and for the strategic processes to be carried out properly. And hence, the organization can be successful in strategic planning, can gain a competitive advantage. You need to learn everything about information technology as a manager because you will be an informed user. You will be a person knowledgeable about information systems and information technology at the end of this course and grow on these discussions. Enjoy using information systems and information technology so that you can have a successful managerial life. You will feel good when you get to know that organizations provide every individual employee with IT support to fulfill their managerial roles. The management and the business processes have become IT oriented today. That's why we are discussing in detail the benefits, the capabilities of IT, the role that IT plays in today's organization in detail. You will see that organizational structure and strategy are also supported by IT. Whenever an external or internal pressure is felt by an organization, IT comes forward and helps the organization to plan the critical response activities. The changed government policies may create a pressure on an organization, but such a pressure is distributed over a long period as government gives enough time to organizations to respond to changed policies. But if there is a change in the behavior of consumers, the organizations should be able to identify the change. Moreover, they should be able to come up with a solution fast. IT helps an organization to anticipate and stay ahead of problems. The organizations can take proactive measures rather than firefighting measures when there's make heavy use of IT. An organization can use an IT infrastructure or IT architecture to increase its market share. An organization, that's why we say, can use IT supported strategic systems to increase their market share. IT can help an organization negotiate better with their suppliers. Maintaining and improving quality of products and processes in an organization needs regular support, vigilance, and innovation. IT or information technology has been used extensively or are being used extensively today for productivity improvement, reducing inventory, and maintaining quality. IT, along with information systems, can help management in the decision-making process. IT also plays a major role in BPR. I've told you that business process reengineering has become the need of the day for every business. Before I can tell you what BPR involves, you should know that today organizations, they just don't want to have incremental profits. They want to have dramatic improvements in their profit. If they have to move from incremental profits towards a dramatic improvement of profits, then they make good use of IT. They re-engineer, restructure, reorient their organizations. They transform their organization using creative, innovative systems thinking and process thinking, using analytical thinking. So all of you should know that business process reengineering involves changing business processes in an innovative way. Organizations make use of emerging technologies, make good use of disruptive technologies, make use of internet, intranet, and extranets in changing their business processes so that they can reduce cycle time and time to market a product. IT makes information available to all employees working at different levels of having different levels of the organization's hierarchy, having different levels of access. As a result, you'll see employees can be given more independence to make decisions. All of you would have heard about enterprise resource planning. It is actually an integrated information system. It's a strategic tool which heavily uses IT to integrate business processes of an organization. IT is an important tool and hence must be used properly. India is making steady progress. India is making steady progress because of the rampant use of IT. Because of the rampant use of IT in almost every field today. Now, how does IT impact our organizations? IT, you will see throughout our discussion in this course, you will see that IT affects various types of organizations. The impact of IT on modern organizations can be huge. All of you should note that IT can reduce the number of middle managers. IT makes managers more productive, and it increases the number of employees who can report to a single manager. Thus, IT ultimately decreases the number of managers and experts. It is reasonable to assume, therefore, that in coming years, organizations will have fewer managerial levels and fewer staff and line managers. If this trend materializes, promotional opportunities will decrease, making promotions much more competitive. Bottom line is that you need to pay attention to details in school. The second major impact that IT has is that IT changes the manager's job. One of the most important tasks of managers is making decisions, as all of you are aware of that by now. A major consequence of IT has been to change the manner in which managers make their decisions. In this way, IT ultimately has changed managers' job. IT often provides managers with near real-time information, meaning that managers have less time to make decisions, making their jobs even more stressful. Fortunately, IT also provides many tools. For example, business analytics applications such as dashboards, search engines, and intranets and extranets help managers handle volumes of information they must deal with on an ongoing basis. IT also impacts employees at work. Many people have experienced a loss of identity because of computerization. They feel like just another number because computers reduce or eliminate the human element present in non-computerized systems. The internet threatens to exert more isolating influence than have computers and television, encouraging people to work and shop from their living rooms could produce some unfortunate psychological effects such as depression and loneliness. IT, thus we can say, IT impacts employee health and safety. Although computer and information systems are generally regarded as agents of progress, they can adversely affect individuals' health and safety. You should know that IT provides opportunities for people with disabilities. Computers can create new employment opportunities for people with disabilities by integrating speech recognition and vision recognition capabilities. IT can affect our quality of life. IT has significant implications for our quality of life. The workplace can be expanded from the traditional 9 to 5 jobs to a central location to 4 hours a day at any location. IT can provide employees with flexibility that can significantly improve the quality of leisure time, even if it does not increase the total amount of leisure time. From the opposite perspective, if I have to tell you, however, IT also can place employees on constant call, which means they are never truly away from their office, even when they are on vacation. In fact, surveys today reveal they are never truly surveys reveal that the majority of the respondents take their laptops and smartphones on their vacations, and 100% carry 100% people carry their cell phones. Going further, the majority of respondents do some work while vacationing, and almost all of them check their emails regularly. So I can sensitize you that the robot revolution is here now. Once restricted largely to science fiction movies, robots that can perform practical tasks are becoming more common. I can give you the example of Suzuki. Maruti Suzuki, in its Gurgaon plant, has installed robots, has installed information technology to carry out 70% of its tasks. It had many strikes. It had to face many strikes, and the organization was affected. So the company's top management took a decision to replace human labor with information technology. There was a fear that there will be loss of jobs, but no, it turned out to be a boom for people having knowledge of IT to get placed with Maruti Suzuki and to contribute to the growth of Maruti Suzuki. That is one example. But today, robots are widely being used. In fact, cyber coaches, nurse bots, and other mechanical beings may be our companions before we know it. Around the world, quasi-autonomous devices have become increasingly common on factory floors, in hospital corridors, and in farm fields. For home use, iRobot, a company, produces the Roomba to vacuum our floors, the Scuba to wash our floors, the Dirty Dog to sweep our garages, the Vero to clean our pools, and the Luz to clean our gutters. So what I'm trying to tell you is, robots are increasingly being utilized in a variety of areas. So IT has crept into our lives today. We cannot live without information technology. We cannot live without information systems. Having said that, let me tell you that managing information technology and information system is a very difficult and complex task. So you need to fasten up your belts, learn about IT and IS, understand their capabilities, understand their impacts, and try to use these important tools in your managerial life so that you have success and growth. You drive your business. You drive business growth. Managing information resources through IT and IS is a difficult and complex task. You need to know how to acquire, operate, and maintain IT and IS. This course is designed for you to know about how to acquire, how to operate, and how to maintain IT and IS. All of you should know that information technology is very expensive. Information systems are very expensive, but the benefits outweigh the costs. That's why organizations look for either buying the latest information technologies or information systems, or for, if they have in-house experts, they design, they procure the right IT, they design their own information systems so that the organization's operations, tactical activities, and strategies are carried out smoothly. With the evolution of IT and IS, organizations have succeeded in this competitive business environment. If you take a look into the relationship of IS and IT, you'll see that information systems are built on the foundations of IT. So being a manager knowledgeable about IT, what are the first requirements in organizations so that information systems can run using these important tools? As a manager, you need to, when you join an organization as a manager, you need to create these IT levels first. In the first level, you need to procure the right IT components. So you have to learn and know about what are the IT components that you need to procure or acquire for your organization. That is number one. That's why you need to learn about IT and IS so that you can make the right choices to actually get the latest that is available in the market as per the requirements of your organization. So the first layer that you create to make your organization a digital firm or to make your organization to face the competition in this digital society, you need to first be aware of what are the right IT components that you need to acquire and use. So the first level is that you need to build the IT components of your organization as a manager. Next, to run the show, you need to hire the right kind of people, who can handle the information technology components that you have implemented. So the next level is IT personnel. So the first level is the right IT components. On that, you hire the right system skilled people or the IT skilled people. So IT personnel. And the third level is you need to create the IT services. So that is the third level. So the IT component level, along with the IT personnel, along with the IT services, form the IT platform for your organization. On this, many varieties of information systems are built so that this function can drive the businesses and improve its operations and hence improve its quality of products that they produce, reduce the cost of the products or services they produce. They can enhance the speed to the market, and they can provide the best of services to survive. Now, what are the IT components that as an IT manager you need to procure or acquire? You need to procure the right kind of hardware, the right kind of software, the right kind of networks. Apart from that, you need to install a database which forms the core of every information system. You need to follow strict SOPs or procedures. You need to acquire the right kind of people. These few things are considered to be the IT components: hardware, software, database, network, procedures, and people. IT services, IT personnels use IT components to develop information systems, oversee security and risk, and manage data. What are the IT infrastructure? The IT components along with the IT services are considered to be the IT infrastructure. So you have to have the right IT infrastructure in place. Once all these are there, built into the organizational system, then you can run the functional information systems so that each of the functions in the organization can run their show. And once they are successful and managers make good use of the information generated out of the information systems, can keep you in the market. Otherwise, you will lose out to your competitors. Having said all this, let me tell you, IT impacts employees' health and safety. So you need to have the right kind of training in IT, uses of IT, so that you don't fall ill or you are not addicted to the beauty of IT. So you have to make the right use of IT to help yourself as a manager, so you help your organization, to help the society at large. While using IT, you need to be concerned about the ergonomics or the design of the tools, the right design of the tools to protect yourself from health hazards. IT affects our quality of life. IT has improved healthcare. IT and IS have influenced today's society a lot. Thank you. I hope you have a good understanding of IT. In the next modules, we will look into the IT components, like we will discuss about the hardware, the software, the networks, and the internet, which forms the core of any information technology. Computer technology, along with network technology, along with internet, has provided organizations with competitive advantage. So in the next few classes, we'll be discussing about the hardware aspects of IT. We'll be looking into the software aspects, wherein we will look into the system software and the application softwares. We'll look into the most important technology which has made organizations networked is the network technology. It provides the infrastructure for smooth transfer of quality information from one place to another. And internet that has revolutionized our lives. We'll try to understand these four components very nicely so that we can make good use of them, benefit out of them, and be successful. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Thank you.